Welcome to Come to Mama, where we're nurturing souls. How's everybody doing? It's been a while. Had a lot going on in my own life, and there is a lot going on. Sorry. Anyway, I wanted to pull some oracle cards for the collective, try to nurture some souls that may be needing some nurturing these days. Um, I follow astrology. I try to study it, but I also have some specific readers that or astrologers that I like to watch consistently. I'm tired. Ooh, balance came out. So that's a message from spirit. I was just trying to shuffle the cards and that flew out. So that must have been meant. Anyway, I'm so sorry. Don't mean to be so tired, but I wanted to get some. I felt like I needed to come on here and give a message from spirit. Okay. So balance is one of them. But as I was saying about astrologers, a couple that I really like are one, the astrology podcast. I like their monthlies. They talk about for the full month in advance, or they'll do their yearlies. I like Varush, Veroosh. She's an interesting astrologer. Pretty, um, she is authentic in her own way, but she covers pretty much everything and then some. And then lately, I've been listening to Divine Feminine. I like her as well. She's astrology and she does tarot. So the astrology podcast does not pull tarot cards, but the other two astrologists do. So they give you an idea of what the energy, what you need to be looking for as far as the cards go. But I'm asking Spirit for the collective what you need to pay attention to, and balance popped out. And passion flower is the herb. Okay. Let's see if anything else comes out. Courage. That herb is motherwort. Not mugwort, but motherwort. Hmm. Let's see what else. Yes, the energies have been very heavy in this Cancer season, and then we just had a new moon in Cancer. So, it's covering a lot about our emotions with family, relationships, um, a lot of things that come up with family. And the bottom of the deck is change, elderberry. So, with everything going on with the family, within ourselves, we need to balance ourselves because it's going to take, with the balancing, I believe that it gives us the courage to push through these times. Um, in particular, for me, I've had a death in my family, which is my father, and I have had some death related issues with family that usually come up when someone dies. And so that comes up to ends up being a lot of betrayal and hurt. Okay. So it could also have a lot to do with, in relationships. It could be the ending of a lot of relationships. Um, has just been so heavy. It has been not only heavy but just distracting of the things that are really important in our lives that we need to be focusing on. So it could very well mean that you need to focus on your relationship because we've been distracted with a lot of issues going on to keep us away from the things that are most important to us, like our family or our love or um, just whatever it is that we're doing in our lives that we're striving to um, achieve, for the future. And so balance is really important. One of the ways that I've been looking into trying to balance is grounding. So I try to go out somewhere where there's grass or there's dirt, and I try to sit down and just take my feet out of my shoes and ground. Right. And so this is going to take a lot of courage, though. I mean, dealing with a lot of things that we're dealing with, um, it's very challenging. But for me, and it took a lot of courage for me to speak up for myself because usually I'm a very passive person, or I'm the type of person usually who have in the past what would make everybody else happy and suffer in a sense. And so I'm usually the one that's trying to keep the peace or please everybody. So, in the instances that have occurred with me and some of my family, I had to step up and I had to have the courage to speak up for myself. And, that of course was not appreciated or liked at all. But at the end of the day, it liberated me, and I was proud of myself because had I not, I would have been like I always had been in the past, where later on I should have said or could have said, or and I would have betrayed myself. So at this time, don't betray yourself. Okay, do not betray yourself. It is very important that you stand firm in what you believe in, and balance yourself. Do the best you can to balance yourself and balance the things that are going on in your life. If it's too much distractions, because what I'm getting these days for me and a lot of other people, too much social media, too much phone. It's just become like another part of our body that doesn't move away from us. It's like stuck to us, and we're constantly on it. And so what happens is that it imbalances everything around us because we're not paying attention to it. If we're spending more time on our phone than we are in the real world, then we're out of balance. So it's time for us to balance ourselves. Okay. And I'm going to try to read this. I don't have my glasses of what balance and number 6. This is a message of what the card means. It says, a return to center is needed and may be also offered. You have taken something too far, or maybe back to a more harmonious and even place. Stability is what you should be focused on at the moment, and rash actions and decisions are to be tempered. Now is not the time to take a risk, but rather to step back just a little and see what transpires. You may find you need to get more rest or time away or retreat a little. Okay. And then courage. Sorry. Okay. Courage. The confidence and strength you need is within and only has to be awakened. All the energy and endurances you present. Wait, I'm sorry. I cannot see this for the life of me. This is crazy. I even have it in the light. I can't see. Okay. All the energy and endurance you need will be available, and the tools you require will present themselves as needed. So do not hesitate to undertake what is before you. It may take longer than you hope or expect for outcomes to be resolved at the moment, but longevity is assured with any undertaking or commitments made. Listen to your heart because it is speaking a truth you need to hear. Situations involving children are a focus, and love is also a theme at the moment. So double check, and also it says it has a lot to do with children and love. So if you are a parent, maybe you might want to check with your children. We tend to think that with these energies that they're heavy just for us, but they could be heavy on the children too. When we have these planets who are celestial bodies that represent specific aspects of our lives, that's what they represent. Um, like Venus represents love, or material things, right? Mars represents war or action. The our children may be going through things as well. So I definitely do see an effect in my children's life. I think that we need to talk to them and make sure that they're okay. Because if we're having issues, especially your teenage and preteen children, the smaller children, they depend upon you for everything. But as the children get preteen, they start seeing things differently, and when they become teenagers, they could just straight up turn into a whole nother person, which that's a part of life, right? So we have to do what we can to guide them, because even though they may act tough, it doesn't mean that they are. They're just putting on an air. So that being said, I apologize for making this short, but I am tired. I am in bed. I'm about to go to sleep, and I wanted to nurture some souls tonight. So if I helped you, I'm glad. Peace and love.